There's a moment, you know it well, when someone says something cruel about you, and your entire body reacts before your mind even understands why. Your chest tightens, your face goes hot, your thoughts start racing, rehearsing comebacks you'll never say out loud. Maybe it was a coworker's comment in a meeting. Maybe it was a family member's careless remark at dinner. Maybe it was a stranger online hiding behind a screen saying things they'd never dare say to your face. And here's the part nobody tells you. It isn't the criticism that hurts the most. It's the silence afterward, the replaying, the 2 a.m. conversations you have in your head 3 days later, still trying to win an argument that ended long ago. You tell yourself you're over it, but you're not. You're carrying it, quietly, like a stone in your pocket you keep touching just to make sure it's still there. What if I told you that 2,000 years ago, men who faced exile, betrayal, and even death sentences developed a way of thinking that made criticism lose its power over them completely, not by fighting back, not by becoming cold or numb, but by understanding something about the human mind that most people never discover in an entire lifetime. Today, that changes. Welcome back to Forge Explained, where ancient Stoic wisdom meets the challenges of modern life. If this is your first time here, welcome. You've arrived at exactly the right place. In today's video, we're exploring 8 powerful responses that will silence your critics. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this timeless Stoic principle can completely transform your life. Not by changing what other people say about you, but by changing what their words are allowed to do to you. Why this matters now more than ever. We live in the loudest era in human history. Every opinion has a megaphone. Every mistake can be screenshotted. Every stranger with Wi-Fi has become a potential judge, jury, and executioner of your character. And it's not just online, it's in your office, your family group chat, the neighbor who always has something to say, the friend who means well, but somehow leaves you feeling smaller every time you speak with them. Modern psychology has a name for what happens in your brain during criticism. It's called a threat response. The amygdala, the brain's alarm system, cannot easily distinguish between a saber-toothed tiger and a sarcastic comment on social media. Your body prepares for battle even when no battle is happening. The Stoics understood this truth before neuroscience had a name for it. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a crippled slave named Epictetus taught something radical in a small Roman schoolroom, that no one can insult you without your permission. Not because words don't exist, but because meaning is something you assign, not something inflicted upon you. The Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius probably the most powerful man alive at the time, wrote privately in his journal about the exact same struggle you face today. People misunderstanding him, criticizing him, doubting him, and he built an entire philosophy of mental armor to survive it without losing his humanity. This is not about becoming numb. This is not about pretending words don't sting. This is about learning 8 specific responses, mental tools really, that the Stoics used to remain calm, grounded, and untouchable in the face of criticism. Let's begin. The response of silence. When someone tries to provoke you, silence is the loudest reply. Here's the hidden psychological problem. Most people believe that not responding to an insult means they've lost. Our nervous system is wired for reciprocity. An eye for an eye feels fair, feels just. So when someone attacks us and we don't fire back, something in us screams that we've been defeated. But consider this. Seneca, writing to his friend Lucilius, described how a wise man hears an insult the way he'd hear noise from the street. Present, but not worth turning his head for. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire during plague and war, receiving a petty insult from a senator. Did he need to respond? Every response he gave cost him time, energy, and dignity he could spend elsewhere. His silence wasn't weakness, it was resource allocation. He was protecting his mind the way a general protects his strongest soldiers. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies on emotional regulation show that pausing before reacting activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, and deactivates the amygdala's fight response. In simple terms, silence is not surrender. Silence is a neurological reset button. The practical lesson? The next time someone insults you, count to 5 before you speak, or don't speak at all. Let the silence do what words cannot. Make them wonder if you even heard them, and more importantly, if you even cared. Ask yourself, how much of my peace have I traded away just to have the last word? But that's only half the story, because silence alone isn't always enough. Sometimes the mind needs something more active to reclaim its ground. The response of reframing. It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it. That determines your suffering. Here's the hidden problem most people never notice. We don't actually react to events. We react to our story about events. Epictetus taught this more directly than almost any philosopher in history. Asterisk. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions they have about things. Asterisk. Picture this. Two people receive the exact same harsh feedback from a boss. One spirals into shame, replaying it for days, convinced they're incompetent. The other thinks, interesting. Let me see what's useful here and let the rest go. Same words, same tone, completely different suffering. This is what modern cognitive psychology calls asterisk cognitive reappraisal, one of the most well-researched tools in all of therapy. Neuroscientists have found that people who reframe distressing events show measurably lower activity in the brain's stress centers and better long-term emotional resilience. The Stoics discovered this without an MRI machine. They simply observed human behavior with brutal honesty. Practical lesson: when criticism lands, ask, is this person describing me or revealing themselves? Often, cruelty says more about the wound inside the critic than the truth about you. Reflection question: what story am I telling myself about this criticism? And is it even true? Something even more important is coming, because reframing your thoughts is powerful. But there's a response even deeper, one that touches the very core of your identity. Topic 3. The response of indifference to opinion. You cannot control what people think of you. You can only control who you actually are. This is where most people quietly suffer for their entire lives, chasing approval like a shadow they can never quite catch. Marcus Aurelius wrote something startling in his private journal. Never meant for publication, he reminded himself again and again that trying to please everyone was a fool's errand, because people's opinions shift like weather, and chasing them meant surrendering his own soul to strangers. Think about how much of your life has been shaped by fear of judgment. The career you didn't pursue, the words you didn't say, the person you didn't become, all because somewhere a critic's voice got louder than your own. The Stoics divided life into two categories: things asterisk within our control, asterisk, and things asterisk outside our control. Your effort, your integrity, your choices, these are yours. Other people's opinions of you, never yours. Never were. Psychologists today call the opposite of this trap external validation dependency, and it's linked directly to anxiety, depression, and chronic dissatisfaction. The less your self-worth depends on outside approval, the more stable your mental health becomes. Practical lesson: before reacting to criticism, ask if this person's opinion actually has any bearing on your values or your goals. If not, it's simply noise, wind against a mountain that doesn't move. Ask yourself, whose permission am I still waiting for to become who I truly am? Most people never realize this next truth, though, because it flips the entire idea of criticism upside down. 4. The response of gratitude for criticism. Even your enemy can be your teacher if you let him. Here's a truth almost no one wants to hear. Asterisk, some of your harshest critics are secretly giving you information you need. Asterisk. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on how even people who wronged him could still teach him patience, humility, or clarity about his own blind spots. He didn't thank them out loud, but internally, he used their harshness as raw material for his own growth. This doesn't mean every critic is right, many aren't. But buried in even the cruelest comment, there is sometimes a kernel, a signal about how you're perceived, a mirror reflecting something you hadn't noticed. Modern behavioral science calls this feedback reframing, treating criticism as data rather than judgment. People who can separate the emotional sting from the informational value tend to grow faster in their careers, relationships, and self-awareness. The practical lesson: filter every piece of criticism through one simple question. Is there truth in this I can use? If yes, extract it and let the rest go like smoke through your fingers. If no, release all of it immediately. Reflection: What if your loudest critic has accidentally handed you the exact lesson you needed to grow? What happens next changes everything, because now we move from mindset into action, into the actual words you can use when critics come for you directly. Halfway reminder. Let's pause here for a moment. Everything we've covered so far builds toward one single truth. Asterisk, your critics do not have power over you unless you hand it to them. Asterisk. Silence, reframing, indifference to opinion, and gratitude for feedback. These aren't just ancient ideas. They are the architecture of a mind that cannot be shaken. And we still have 4 more responses ahead, including one that even seasoned Stoics considered the most difficult skill of all. The response of calm confrontation. Strength is not loud. Strength is steady. Sometimes silence isn't the right tool. Sometimes you must speak. But how you speak determines everything. Seneca warned against responding to anger with anger, comparing it to fighting fire by throwing more fuel on it. Instead, he advocated for what we might call calm confrontation, addressing an issue directly, but from a place of centeredness rather than rage. Picture Epictetus, once enslaved, physically injured by a cruel master, yet historical accounts describe him responding to abuse not with panic or fury, but with a kind of eerie, grounded calm that unsettled those trying to provoke him. Neuroscience shows us why this works. When you respond from a regulated nervous system rather than a triggered one, your words come out clearer, more precise, and far more persuasive. People who are visibly rattled lose credibility instantly. People who remain calm under attack are perceived as more powerful, even if they say very little. Practical lesson: when you must respond to criticism, lower your voice instead of raising it. Slow your speech instead of rushing it. Calm is not weakness. Calm is the ultimate power move. Ask yourself, the next time I feel the urge to raise my voice, can I lower it instead and watch what happens? But something even more important is coming, because calm confrontation only works if you've mastered what comes next. 6. The response of self-respect without ego. Defend your character, not your pride. There's a subtle trap hidden inside every insult. The temptation to defend not your values, but your ego. Musonius Rufus, one of the most underrated Stoic teachers, taught that true strength comes from virtue, not from winning arguments or proving superiority. He believed a person could hold firm boundaries without needing to dominate or humiliate others in return. Here's the psychological difference. Ego wants to be right. Self-respect wants to be whole. Ego reacts to protect image. Self-respect responds to protect integrity. When you defend your ego, you become reactive, defensive, easily manipulated by anyone who knows which buttons to press. When you defend your character instead, criticism simply cannot find a foothold, because you're not fighting to be seen as perfect. You're standing firm in who you actually are. Practical lesson: the next time you're criticized, ask whether your reaction is protecting your values or protecting your image. One is worth defending, the other is a trap. Reflection question: am I protecting my character right now or just my pride? Most people never realize this distinction exists, and it's exactly why they stay trapped in cycles of unnecessary conflict for years. Shot 7. The response of strategic detachment. Not everyone deserves access to your emotional energy. This response might be the most liberating of all 8. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he would encounter difficult people, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, and that expecting otherwise was like expecting a fig tree not to produce figs. Difficult people exist. That's not a personal attack on you. That's simply the nature of the world. The key insight here is strategic detachment. Not coldness, not cruelty, but a conscious decision about where your emotional energy goes. Not every critic deserves a place in your inner world. Not every comment deserves rent-free space in your mind. Psychologists refer to this as selective attention regulation, the ability to consciously choose what deserves your focus and what doesn't. People who master this skill report significantly lower stress and higher life satisfaction, because they stop wasting mental bandwidth on things that don't matter. Practical lesson: create an internal filter. Ask, does this person's opinion align with my values, my goals, or my closest relationships? If not, let it pass through you like wind through an open window, felt but not held. Ask yourself, How much free rent have I been giving to people who don't even think about me the way I think about them? But there is one final response, the hardest of them all, and it's the one that turns an entire lifetime of criticism into something almost unbelievable: freedom. 8. The response of amor fati, loving what comes. What if every insult, every betrayal, every harsh word was exactly what you needed? This is the deepest Stoic teaching of all, and it comes from a concept called amor fati, the love of fate. Nietzsche later borrowed this term, but its roots trace back through Stoic thought, especially through the writings of Marcus Aurelius, who believed that everything that happens, even painful things, can be transformed into fuel for growth, if we choose to see it that way. This doesn't mean pretending pain doesn't exist. It means asking, what if this criticism, this rejection, this moment of humiliation becomes the exact thing that forges the person I'm meant to become? Consider Epictetus again, enslaved, disabled, stripped of freedom and dignity by Roman society. And yet centuries later, his teachings shape self-help philosophy, therapy models, and resilience training around the entire world. His suffering became his platform. His pain became his purpose. Modern psychology has a term remarkably close to this, post-traumatic growth, the documented phenomenon where people who endure hardship often emerge with greater resilience, deeper meaning, and stronger character than before the hardship occurred. Practical lesson: the next time criticism cuts deep, ask not why is this happening to me, but what is this preparing me for? Final reflection: if this pain is actually shaping you into someone stronger, would you still resist it, or would you finally let it forge you? The summary: let's bring this all together. Ask. Silence protects your energy. Reframing protects your mind. Indifference to opinion protects your freedom. Gratitude for criticism protects your growth. Calm confrontation protects your dignity. Self-respect without ego protects your character. Strategic detachment protects your peace. And amor fati loving what comes protects your entire future. These 8 responses were not designed to make you cold, distant, or unfeeling. They were designed to make you unshakable, the kind of person who can walk through criticism, betrayal, and misunderstanding without losing an ounce of who they truly are. Here is your challenge. The next time someone criticizes you, today, tomorrow, this week, choose just one of these 8 responses. Not all of them, just one. Practice it deliberately. Notice how it feels to respond from strength instead of reaction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote words that echo across 2,000 years directly into this very moment. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If today's lesson helped you see yourself differently, subscribe to Stoic Forge Explained for more timeless Stoic wisdom that helps you build discipline, resilience, and inner strength. Until next time, protect your mind, master yourself, and keep forging your character.